Welcome to our first official episode of Barbie Talks. I am your girl, the Brown Barbie, your real and raw influencer, and this is where we really get to the nitty gritty, okay? Let's really dive into it. Every episode, I like to start off with a quote, and today is from Elizabeth II saying, "It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that brings out the most lasting change." Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, varying on just, becoming your best self and just how our environment is affecting us. But before we get into all that, let me just formally introduce myself a little more. I am the Brown Barbie. My name is Deasia. If you are watching on YouTube, hey girl, hey boy, hey, it's not your first rodeo. Y'all can hit subscribe. But if you are if you guys are listening audio, hey, I'm so excited that you are tuning in, joining in with us today. I'm so excited to bring you guys really hard-hitting topics and just powerful things, okay? Like, we are going to really be pushing the envelope in this pod, and we have a little visitor, because it's getting a little warm, all right? We had a little, but nonetheless, let's get into it. In this pod, in these episodes, we'll really be diving into multiple topics, whether they are relationships, Black community, influencing, beauty, all of those things. That is what we mostly will be talking about on this channel. Pretty much a 360 of everything. If you are not new to any of my platforms, you guys do know I'm a very small micro influencer that does makeup transitional videos, hair installs, and things of that nature. So I'm really excited to start this podcast to really, show a different side of me and, really start talking about the things that I want to talk about and push to a bigger audience. I know that there's a few girls like me that, might surface level, it might seem like, they don't have that much depth to them or they don't think this way. But then when you start talking to them, you're like, oh, girl, you really be thinking in that head. And it's like the name Barbie, and we will get into this another episode deeper, but I chose the name the Brown Barbie to push the envelope. When we think of Barbie, we think of a skinny, petite, blonde hair, blue eye doll, and that was always society's standard. So I really wanted to embody something that was different, but also show that you're beautiful any way you are. Barbie's just like the Barbie herself. She got her hand in a bunch of different baskets. She's a vet one day, a Barbie, a doctor, and, all these different things that, I embody that as well. And, we all are Barbies in our own way. And it does not matter what society standard is of you. You are a Barbie doll. You are glam. You can be a STEM girly, a math girl, a school girl, a corporate girly, and still, talk about these hard-hitting conversations, or you could just still be vibing. You could do it all. So that is a little bit about me, you guys. Definitely throughout these episodes, you will learn more, but I really want to get into just these past few months. I have been going through a lot of 360 change. I've just been through some things. I lost a really, really close friend, and a lot was going on, and I just really had the feeling like when I say a force, you guys, a force to want to change my circumstance, change my life, change how I was perceived to others just by the things that I was or wasn't doing, and we'll get into those things in a second. So I really wanted to just break down about becoming your best self and how it is not an easy path. And every day we are still growing. And sometimes we all have our different levels of rock bottom or, our low moments. But we have to understand that those moments shape us. You know, in the quote I used in the beginning, it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring out the most lasting change. When we are planting these seeds, we are doing certain things like taking accountability for our actions, not being prideful, being more kind. The list goes on. Those are the slow steps. Kind of think of it as a seed. We're planting seeds to change and become better. And it's not always bad. I think there's a connotation in our society when someone's like, I want to become my best self. They're strictly talking financial, career goals, even maybe just family and relationship, but you have to start within yourself. You have to start within yourself. You have to hit those bottom moments so you can appreciate when you get to the top. And that's where I'm personally at right now. I think I hit such a low peak that I haven't hit in a really, I really never hit, that it showed me to appreciate so much. And throughout this time, I was very self-aware. I was very self-aware of everything. When I was in this dark time, I really sat down and broke down, like, why is my life this way? Why do people have this narrative of me? Why do I react this way to people? And it's important because if I would have never went through that, I would not have the 360 moments I do. So it's just crazy when you kind of just reflect on certain things and understand that your time is really your time. Like, your time is generally your time, you guys. So if you are listening and you are just really wondering, like, why is my life not changing? It's this, it's that. It takes time. It takes time. You know, I always talk to my friend Kristen. I used to always say, you know, I want to be an influencer now. I want to be successful now. And I'm like, I'm ready for it. I'm prepared. But it's like, we're not. Are we showing the universe? Are we proving to ourselves, our higher selves, that we are worthy of these accomplishments that we want to achieve? Are we worthy enough to become a homeowner? Are we worthy enough to be able to own a business? Are we worthy enough to take on a relationship? And, you know, by showing you're worthy is taking those small steps, taking accountabilities, and having those days where it's true reflection, because you can't ask for a new house if your house is dirty. You're not taking care of your stuff. You can't afford your rent. You can't pay your rent on time. You can't ask for a new business if you can't be self-disciplined. And then, you know, you can't ask for a new relationship if you haven't matured on some emotions. You have to understand it's not a snap of the finger. And I know it's a hard concept for us to grasp, especially now in this day and age. Every single thing is so accessible to us on our phones. Like, we can look up any single thing we want. A video of it, we head over to TikTok. We want a picture of it, we head over to Pinterest. Whatever we want, it is at our fingertips. And although that is an asset, it is a liability, because it makes us forget that we have to put work into for some things. And it's not saying that, you know, someone's thinking that they could just sit around and twiddle their thumbs or whatever, but it's deeper than we think. It's not as simple as, I want to do this. There's so much work, effort, sacrifices, time that you have to put into these things in order to reap the benefit. It's as simple as that. And taking accountability is a really, really, a really big thing of that. Naturally, as humans, we don't want our egos bruised. We don't want to be hurt. No one wants to hear that they're wrong. No one wants someone to be like, you're wrong. Just naturally, we don't like that. So you imagine how hard it is to take accountability truthfully and really be able to full circle. So the whole point of me going into this topic is to really just emphasize it takes time. Those little steps are more important than the big steps. You have to plant so many seeds behind you before you even see a little sprout. You might plant about 10 seeds and only 3 of them sprout, but you just got to keep going. You got to keep pushing, because you never know when your time is coming. You never know when things might switch around. You never know when you might get that blessing. So it's essential to really work on yourself every day, and it's going to be a hard process. It's going to be a long process, but you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to. And to speak on, okay. And I think something that we really forget is just the difference between a growth and a fixed mindset. One of my old coworkers, we always used to have a conversation about this. And do you guys understand the power of having a growth mindset? Do you understand the power of having a mind that operates as if the world is my oyster? I can do what I want. Rather than a fixed mindset, I can't do that. I don't know if I'm capable. You limit yourself from so many opportunities when you continue to have a fixed mindset. When you're not open to expanding your mind, when you're not open to new opportunities, when you're not open to learning. A growth mindset is so much deeper than being an open-minded person. A growth mindset is exactly what growth means. You're continuing to grow. So I'm personally a very open-minded person, but I'm still growing. There's some things that I have to remind myself to be very optimistic with, to give a chance or give people grace and be open to what they're saying, and not naturally jump to my fixed mindset. We have to understand fixed mindset doesn't just mean closed minded. Fixed mindset, everyone has their own fixed mindset because we all live in our own universes. So we all have our own belief systems that are contributing to why we think the way we think. So if you're just thinking, I'm right, you may generally be an open-minded person or an optimistic person, but if you're just thinking in your head, oh, this is right, I did this, I did that, and you're not open to hearing things, you have a fixed mindset. It is hard. Naturally, as humans, we have a fixed mindset. We do. It's not as simple as just saying, I'm open-minded and optimistic. No, it's a lot. It's a big process, and that's why I really wanted to talk about becoming your best self in this first episode, because as I'm learning and growing, and I think this is just such a perfect topic to start off, our first official episode, but it's so much more than just saying, I'm becoming my best self, I'm going to therapy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, you guys. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take you having to sacrifice things, maybe people, maybe places, maybe financial burdens you have, maybe the area you live in is just not for you. You're going to have to forcefully have yourself gain a growth mindset, or you will not be able to become your best self. And this is not an opinionated statement. It's not anything like that. It's just truth. We as humans cannot become our best self if we are unable to obtain a growth mindset. There's no way we can really accomplish our goals if we have a fixed mindset. And if you do accomplish your goals, it's going to really take longer. It's going to take longer. You'll probably miss out on so many opportunities, and it'll just take a long time. So I know through me personally, throughout this time, I just did a few things. I'm going to make a full video of this on my actual YouTube channel, but I will also go into this deeper during this pod. So just pick your poison of what you would like to see. But, throughout my time, a few things, one of the biggest things I did was, it's going to sound very dumb, you guys. I worked out, and while I was working out, I would listen to motivational books. I would listen to seminars. I would listen to TED Talks. And it was a big adjustment. Even, let's think of, we go to the gym and we place our motivation through the music we're listening to. That's not bad. We could be motivated through music, but if you spend about 2 hours in the gym every week, 5 days a week, that's what's two times five. You know, it's that's a good amount. Now, if you listen to about 2 audiobooks, a seminar, you just easily expanded your mind. You already started forcing your brain to have this growth mindset. You're opening your brain to new thoughts and new ideas while you're actively working out on your body. And this helped me so much to realize so many things, have so many full circle moments, because it really is a cheat code. If you are trying to become your best self, honestly, like, the first thing you have to do is just understand you need to work out. Whether that's going on a walk, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's doing at home workouts. No matter what it is, you have to work out. You have to work out. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. No choice. And during that, you could definitely ease out of the music, but I personally recommend, if you're really trying to like go off the grid, in 6 months come back a new person, I really think you should just 2 months, no music, strictly YouTube. There's so many audiobooks on YouTube, you guys. Everything is so accessible to us. It's no excuse for us to be complacent with our life or just upset in the situation we're in, because there are ways to change it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. But if you put in the work, you will reap the benefits. It's the small steps. You guys, I learned so much. And I still have some audiobooks I need to finish. But I learned so much from just simply listening to motivational YouTube videos or educational YouTube videos while I'm walking on the treadmill. It was the easiest way for me to learn. And I'm only saying this to you guys, and I'm emphasizing the listening to this while working out, because if you're listening to topics that you're trying to work on, whether it's discipline, motivation, you need business advice, love advice, personal advice, you're going through some things and you just want to hear someone else, it's so helpful to do it while you're also stimulating your body, because now your body is associating, okay, I was in the gym, I'm looking in the mirror like, oh, I look good. And then you're like, oh, I remember when I was listening to so-and-so, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he said, I trained myself to know money works for me. I don't work for money. It's a domino effect that we're so conditioned to reap the negative of a domino effect, just making the wrong decisions and like, oh, my life got to this point. But we can have a positive domino effect if we tweak these small things in our lives and just take a few months to sacrifice certain things. We will reap the rewards. We will. It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring out the most lasting change. I already spoke about the planting seeds. The list goes. I can really go on about this topic for a minute, but just overall, you have to understand that it's going to take sacrifice, it's going to take discipline. But if you genuinely are wanting to change your life for the better, or just change your mindset to a growth mindset, it's going to be a lot of work. And it's actually really funny. A few days ago, I had went to the gym and I just listened to music, and I was like, wow, this feels so weird. I felt even more motivated because I'm like, oh yeah, now I know I'm ready to work. So there's ways for you to trick your own brain, because you know how your brain works. So for me, I knew that worked for me. That might not work for you, but you still should give a bunch of different things, a bunch of different options to try to really emphasize the growth mindset. And that's the premise of it. That's the emphasis of it. If you're not open to just trying to listen to a few TED Talks every time you go to the gym, do you have a growth mindset? If you're not willing to take an hour out of your day to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or The Art of War, or The Four Agreements, are you really ready to better yourself? If you're not willing to turn your phone off an hour before bed and just sit in your own thoughts, are you really ready to grow? Are you ready to become your best self? And this is a journey, you guys, that takes so long. Even with me, I'm really hot and cold sometimes. I'm either really peaking, like I'm going hard, and then I have a deep plateau, or I'm just plateaued. So this is not something that'll change overnight, but it's important for us to just know that you still got to put in the effort. If you want to become your best self, you got to understand that it's going to be some time. It's going to be some time. Like, it's just going to be some time. It's going to be some time. Now, I want to introduce a segment that I will be doing every episode called T&T, and it's called Tell the Truth. Tell the truth. So when we have guests, and if I'm doing another solo episode, there will always be a tell the truth question. And this is just a real and raw. I can't call myself a real and raw influencer if I'm not bringing the heat and giving y'all the real and raw questions. So our T&T question of the day is, why do we let intrusive thoughts win? Yes. Why do we allow intrusive thoughts to win? Now, I'm just really want you to sit on that statement and break it down. Why do we allow intrusive thoughts to win? Now, while you're thinking of that, I'm going to help you out here. If you are trying to become your best self right now, there's a great chance that you aren't happy in your life. There's something going on that you want to change, whether it's financial, family, relationships, career, or just how you view yourself. Something you want to change. Something in that mix has an intrusive thought in your head saying, there's no way I can get that raise at work. There's no way I can become a millionaire in 3 years. There's no way I can run a successful business. There's no way I can be married with kids within the next 5 years. There's no way I will be able to be successful in a relationship. The list goes on. Those are all intrusive thoughts. When we sit on them long enough, we allow them to fester and multiply. And now I don't think I'm going to get that raise at work. It's now when you're at work and you feel like you're falling short, or you're having a bad day. This is why I won't get the raise at work. And this is all contributing to a fixed mindset. Now, if you have a growth mindset, you really wouldn't let these intrusive thoughts win as much. And it's not an easy journey. You will forever have intrusive thoughts. You will forever have to battle with your own mind. You will forever have to do that. You're not escaping that. But knowing how to manage it properly, and knowing how this is my representation of myself. This is not how the world views me. And I am not even really living in what I can be living in right now, because I am seeing the world through my lens. Now, hopefully that last statement made sense, because I know that was a little complex, but moral of this, just to simplify that statement, we will always undersell ourselves as humans, because we are with ourselves 24/7, 25/8, honestly. We see every imperfection in the mirror. We see if one thing changed. We see exactly where we're gaining weight. We know our faults. We know our vices. We know our virtues. We know we're capable of. We think we're not capable of this, but we probably can be. We know things that are out of our reach, what are in our reach. So we're allowing these intrusive thoughts to win because we're seeing the world through this blurred lens where these intrusive thoughts are side by side with us. But in actual reality, most intrusive thoughts are false. They're false. Most intrusive thoughts are false. Now, if my friend is listening to this, hey girl, hey, I'm not going to say your name, but you know what I'm talking about. The perfect example I can use of this is my very close friend, sister, childhood friend. She went for a job interview. She just thought she bombed it. She just thought that she was not going to get that job. She thought she was not going to get that job. And, everyone around her trying to tell her to be optimistic. I'm telling her be optimistic. Come to find out, she gets the job, and she was one of the highest scoring candidates. And I told her, we always talk about perception and how the world is so subjective. And it's just truth. We are so subjective. You are 90% of the time slowing down your own growth, your own blessings, your own advancements because you're comparing and selling yourself short. She thought that due to her counterparts being in a different major than her, or, them coming from different backgrounds, that she just felt like she was not going to be able to go to that bar, but she surpassed the bar. But if she was able to see herself out of a different lens that was not her own blurred vision, because she is with herself and she's hard on herself, maybe she could have predicted that she would have gotten this job. And I'm hoping this real life scenario is putting emphasis on why a growth mindset is so important, and also understanding subjectivity. One of these videos after, a video after is going to be talking fully on subjectivity. Everything is subjective. Everything is so subjective. One person may like me with curly hair. The other person might like me with a blonde straight wig. Everything is so subjective because us as humans have developed our own belief systems which affect our day-to-day life. Growing up, a girl who bullied me always had curly hair. She's skinny, tall, and I naturally, girls that resemble her I would probably be a little hesitant to talk to them. Open up. If as a child I didn't receive support in this area or love in this area, or I had to do certain things, that's going to affect my adult life. But just because that affects my adult life does not mean I get to talk about Sally, or could just assume that this tall, skinny, petite, or however I just describe that girl with the curly hair is automatically this mean girl, like the same girl that I was around when I was younger. When you understand we're seeing the world through a blurred lens, you really just get to understand that I can do whatever I want. Someone's going to love me. Someone's going to hate me. I'm going to be the best here. I'm going to be the worst here. But having a growth mindset and understanding, what can I take from this situation? What can I take from this situation? I may be lacking here, but I know my teammate's good here, and I know I'm good at this, so we can bounce off of each other. That's the power of having a growth mindset, being able to excel in any situation you're in, because you find the best case scenario, the best reasoning, the best outcome for no matter what you're in. Now the question, why do we let intrusive thoughts win? Because we naturally have a fixed mindset. We naturally are looking through the world in our own lens, being hard on ourselves, being perfectionists. I had to really evaluate a lot of my own thoughts. And I said, these are coming from beliefs I have negatively developed because I just sell myself short. I just assume this. So how does this even make how do these intrusive thoughts make sense if I am fully aware that I am naturally putting myself in this negative position? They're fake. They're fake thoughts. And there's a difference. And before we get to our end segment, there's a difference, you guys, between seeing reality than having intrusive thoughts and being pessimistic. You can see your reality and say, okay, I want to do this, but I know I need to work on this, that, and the third, and then I will be able to reach this milestone. Rather than, oh, I just never reach that milestone because I'm just not good enough. I just can't. No. Understand that we're all capable of doing whatever we want. There's just steps beforehand. We can't just jump ship and just become a CEO of the company. You have to put the work in and go on the levels. The seeds that I was talking about before, you have to plant those seeds. Going to the gym and playing those motivational things at least once a week, the audiobooks. You're planting seeds in your head. You're training your subconscious while you're actively working your body. There's a very fine line between being realistic and understanding what you have to do as a person to reach your next milestone, what you have to do as a person in order to grow, love someone a certain way, achieve a certain thing, or just embody a certain person that embody your best self. I'm going to say it that way. How you can embody your best self. That's very different than just being pessimistic and nasty about the world and having such a nasty opinion and just genuinely just being like, yeah, like that would never happen or this, that. No. And no one wants to be around that. No one does. And, I will get into my own personal journey, dealing with that, dealing with negativity and dealing with being kind of having a fixed mindset and a pessimistic mindset in another episode. But it's not as easy as everyone thinks, but it is easy as well. It takes a lot of behind the scenes work, but if you are willing to work on yourself, you are able to do that. You are able to change your circumstance, your life. It's just a lot of work that you have to do. It's as simple as that. And to just close out our first official Barbie Talks episode, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I'm super excited to talk more and have a few guests. I have a few guests in mind already. Just very, very excited, you guys. But today's topic was becoming your best self, and we can't end this off without, just giving some advice. If you are watching on YouTube, if you want to put in the comments, if you are watching virtually, just taking some notes down for yourself and just writing your own methods so you could pass it on to the next person. How do we become our best self? How do we change this mindset? How do we grow as people and become our best self? I know for me personally, understanding that good things takes time is a very big thing. Your time is coming, and those seeds that you planted, the things that you feed your subconscious, you will be rewarded for doing that. You will be rewarded for putting in effort. You will be rewarded for genuinely putting in work. You will be. And also understanding that everything is subjective. You can't worry about what the next person's saying because they're looking through the world just as a blurry lens as you are, if not blurrier. Because you don't know what people go through. You don't know why their belief systems are the way they are. You don't know why they think this way. You don't know why they might not be attracted to you or they might treat you mean. You don't know. But it's not your job to figure it out. It's not your job to worry about it because everything's so subjective. Billy could like this. Bob could hate it. Once you learn this, how subjective life is, you could start taking some of those covers away, the films off your eyes. Say, we can even use the example as contacts. Just take another contact out. Your vision's starting to get clearer, clearer, and clearer. And also, the last two, this is not like forever. I'm just giving you guys, some things I did. I definitely want to get into a deeper video and truly map out from A to Z and have this be a very long video. But the last two things is just shadow work. Shadow work. If you're actively working on yourself, you're bound to become successful. It's a fact. You are going to have your low points, your high points, but if you are actively living in that growth mindset, how can I benefit from this situation? How can I keep going? How can I utilize this person? How can I network here? How can I utilize my resources? You are bound to become successful. And shadow work is the perfect way to really sit down and unwind and think about your thoughts. Why do I think this way? Why do I think when I'm in this room, I am not valuable? Why do I think if I have this position, I am unable to rise up? Why do I think I am unable to be loved? You have to sit back and write down those things and get to the nitty gritty. A lot of us have childhood trauma. A lot of us just have trauma, and a lot of us just have so many preconceived thoughts from what we see in growing up or just social media or comparing ourselves that it's not even the truth. It's not even real. It's not. So when you start to indulge in shadow work, it's going to be a tough thing. It's going to be intense. But once you get down to the nitty gritty and you could say, okay, I cannot control this anymore. This is out of my control, but I know why I feel this way now. You can move on. You're taking that accountability and you're going to start to set realistic goals because you know what you can and cannot handle at this point. And I cannot emphasize how tough of a process this is because it's not fun. But it has to get done. It has to get done. It has to get done. If you do not do it, no one will do it for you. You becoming your best self solely relies on you and your own prosperity. No one's worrying about if you're crying at home every day. No one's worrying if you are upset because you know you're never going to get a promotion at work. It's just the reality. You are in charge of becoming the best self. You are the only person that can take accountability for your own actions. You are one of the people that can take accountability for how your life is the way it is now. So once you do that, you're able to genuinely grow. You're able to genuinely grow. And I feel like one of the last things that is not like one of the most important things, but something that needs to be said before we really wrap it up is surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Steve Harvey said, the easiest way to kill a big dream is to tell a small-minded person. Small-minded person is equivalent to someone with a fixed mindset. That dream, that thought, that idea was put in your head, not anyone else's. It's a reason why people don't share their accomplishments, or there's a reason why people don't share when the process is happening. They only share when it's good, because it's a lot of people that would want to see you down. And sometimes it is the closest people to you. A stranger will support your business wholeheartedly before your friends most of the time. And that's okay. That's okay, because just like I said, it is your life. You are the only one that can take control of it. It is the same thing with your own ideas, your mind, and your circle. You are in control of that. If you know you want to be a millionaire in 5 years, you need to network with like-minded people. Get some millionaires on your friend list, your roster, your anything, so you are surrounded by that, and you probably will become a millionaire. It is a pretty simple equation. That's why a lot of the successful people can say, show me your group of friends, and I will tell you how your life will turn out. And it's not saying in the sense that your friends control your life, or saying in the sense that you're incapable of making your own decisions, or you're just jumping when this person says jump. But your environment has a lot to do with how you grow as a person. If you feel as if you want to do this, but the person you're with all the time is not matching half of your energy, how are you supposed to do certain things? You are you're not visually tied to them. You guys aren't in handcuffs, but subconsciously y'all go together. So surrounding yourself with like-minded people really is one of the biggest keys to success and becoming your best self, because you know that they have good intent, or you know at least you can network with this person, or they are some type of an asset to your life, and not saying in the sense of you need to look at every human as an asset, a liability, or whatever. But you do have to get realistic about the people you are around in your goals. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably not going to make sense. And it's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you have a lot of close people. It could be relatives, it could be friends, it could be siblings, but you have to understand when to disconnect from them, or you are going to get pulled down as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our first episode. Once again, we are on YouTube. The platforms we are on for right now, we are seeing around. We are trying out YouTube podcast feature. This will be dropping, truly should be every Thursday. So please keep an eye out for our next video. Hopefully we are able to get a guest. Please comment down below if you are in YouTube, if you enjoyed this first Barbie talk. If you are listening at your desk, cleaning up, just listening, hey girl, hey boy, hey, I hope you enjoyed our conversation and you are ready to become your best self, and you are ready to put in the work and invest in yourself so you can live a fulfilling life that we only got one to live. You know, and it's Deasia, also known the Round Barbie, your real and raw influencer. And I will see you guys next episode. Bye.